Hollywood is mourning the loss of Brittany Murphy this morning. The 32-year-old actress died on Sunday from what officials say appear to be natural causes. An autopsy is planned, reportedly against the wishes of her husband. CBS News correspondent John Blackstone has this report.
Actress Brittany Murphy was pronounced dead on December 20th, 2009. Her death has since been one of the most confusing closed cases of all time, sparking debates of murder, mafia ties, and even government conspiracies.
Very drawn to this because of its noir quality and the short film that was made before we were able to make the full-length feature. I was excited to be a part of the full length. I really enjoyed the short film very much.
I'm Alan Woke, and this is Celebrity True Crime. And today we're going to be looking at the moments leading up to the late actress's death and what makes a seemingly cut and dry case a true crime story. On November 2009, Brittany, her mother Sharon, and her husband Simon Monjack traveled to San Juan, Puerto Rico to film a horror film called The Caller. Brittany was allegedly fired the very first day of filming, and it was said that this was in part due to Simon's inability to show up on set not drunk. And this was causing issues with the director of the film and cast and crew. Though Brittany stated the reason for her early departure to the film was because she was not informed that The Caller was a horror movie of which she had no intention to be a part of. The rumors were never confirmed with conflicting stories being told, but what is true is that Brittany, Sharon, and Simon all caught Staphylococcus during their short stay in San Juan. Staphylococcus is a staph infection that can turn deadly if the bacteria invades deeper into your body, entering your bloodstream, joints, bones, heart, and lungs, which is said to be the triggering cause to Simon's heart attack on the flight back to their home in LA. This mixed with Simon's alleged heavy drinking and overall health issues. Thanks to Brittany providing CPR, Simon was able to pull through and make a full recovery. Brittany also had several underlying health issues, according to her mother Sharon. Brittany was a diabetic with a severe iron deficiency. Now cut to the next month of December. In this month, Brittany was said to have been dealing with a second period of the month that led to the cause of anemia. In the actress's final weeks, she was incredibly ill and even refused to see a doctor for weeks. But she had eventually finally set an appointment on Friday, December 18th for the following Monday. On December 20th around 3 a.m., Brittany told her husband Simon that she was having issues breathing and went out to the balcony of her bathroom to, quote, catch her breath. Simon then phoned Sharon to come upstairs to the couple's bedroom. Sharon arrived finally and saw Brittany slumped down on the balcony floor. According to Simon, Sharon told Brittany, "Baby, get up." And Brittany replied with, "Mommy, I can't catch my breath. Help me. Help me." Followed by, "I'm dying. I'm going to die, Mommy. I love you." Sharon wrote this off because according to her, Brittany was a well-known hypochondriac when it comes to illness. So rather than taking her daughter to the hospital immediately, she let Brittany continue to struggle with her breathing. She instead went to the kitchen to make Brittany some tea with lemon and ginger. After drinking this, Sharon said that Brittany still appeared to be dehydrated and forced her to drink some water. Around 7:30 a.m., Brittany returned from the balcony to her bathroom with her mother Sharon. Brittany told her mother, "Mommy, I really don't feel well." Meanwhile, Sharon still refused to take Brittany to the hospital, still assuming this is another one of her overreactions. At around 8 a.m., just 30 minutes after, Brittany Murphy collapsed. Sharon held Brittany in her arms and screamed for Simon to come to the bathroom. Simon arrives and places Brittany in the shower and runs cold water over her in an attempt to wake her up. During this time, Sharon calls 911. Here is that phone call.
Fire Department 97, what's the address of the emergency?
1895 Rising Glen Road.
What's the phone number you're calling from? Tell me exactly what happened.
Oh, somebody's passed out.
Somebody what?
My daughter's passed out. We're doing mouth to mouth. Please get here quick,
okay.
please.
Okay. All right, we're going to. How old is your daughter?
She's 30. Please hurry.
She's 30?
To her mouth.
Can you feel or hear any breathing?
Can you feel or hear any breathing?
Can you feel or hear any breathing? Yes or no, ma'am? Hello? Hello? Hello?
Just a minute, please.
It just takes a second. Can you feel or hear any breathing?
Can you hear anything, Simon?
Yes or no?
Yes or no? No!
Okay, all right. Listen to me carefully. I'm going to tell you how to do compressions, okay?
Brittany, please come back!
Ma'am?
couldn't walk right. She's had a cold. Oh my God.
Is she taking any kind of medications at all?
What?
Is she taking no medications, nothing?
You could hear the dispatcher running Simon through resuscitation exercises until the paramedics arrive. Brittany was then rushed to the Cedars-Sinai Medical Center, with Sharon and Simon following by car. Around 10 a.m., Sharon and Simon received the worst news anyone can receive in a hospital waiting room. Brittany Murphy cannot be saved, and she had died. An autopsy was refused at the request of Simon initially, as he did not want her body to be violated and was against his Orthodox Judaism. But the coroner insisted it be done for obvious reasons. In the autopsy, it was revealed the cause of death was due to having consumed a cocktail of drugs, pneumonia, and the previously mentioned anemia. Now, the cocktail of drugs really stands out because Brittany and Simon were like well-known believers in holistic medication and all-natural medicine. Sharon had told reporters also that due to a heart murmur Brittany faced when she was younger, it made Brittany scared to take any hard drugs or medications. Aside from this standout, this makes complete sense considering the staph infection she received in San Juan a month prior, because as mentioned earlier, the staph infection could have possibly made its way into Brittany's lungs. Seems pretty cut and dry so far, right? Well, on May 23rd, just 5 months after Brittany's passing, Simon Monjack died in the same bedroom at age 40.
Morning, Harry. Well, some would say that Simon Monjack was best known simply for being married to Brittany Murphy. Now he has followed her into death in an eerily similar way. It was a marriage between a fading young star and an unknown screenwriter with a checkered past. Now, just 5 months after Brittany Murphy's tragic death from pneumonia and drug intoxication, her husband, Simon Monjack, has also died. The 39-year-old was found unconscious Sunday night in the same Hollywood Hills home where Murphy had gone into cardiac arrest December 20th. Ironically, Brittany Murphy's mother, Sharon, discovered the bodies of both her daughter and her son-in-law. A neighbor described the scene the night Murphy died.
They were putting tubes in her throat and trying to resuscitate her with paddles, and then her husband was here just wandering around and in his pajama bottoms, just looking completely dazed and shocked.
Rumors about Monjack flew at the time of her death. Some charged he was partly responsible for her stalled film career, that the two were involved with drugs, and that he had a criminal past as a con man. Last December, Gerald Posner talked to The Early Show about Monjack's past.
Yeah, this is a guy, as a matter of fact, who, was arrested on immigration charges a month and a half before he married Brittany in 2007. Some people thought he had married her to stay in the country.
Monjack suffered a heart attack just 2 weeks before Murphy's death, and recently had complained of seizures.
So what do we really know about this guy?
We know he was a screenwriter, but he had not written anything of note. We also know that some claim that he just squandered his family fortune trying to produce this movie. We also know that he had 2 warrants out for his arrest, both in Virginia for credit card fraud, and he also had $1 million judgment that was levied against him by a British investment firm. And a former fiance claimed that he had given her a phony diamond engagement ring. She claims, in fact, that she tried to warn Brittany Murphy about him.
Wow. What a story. Thanks very much, Michelle. Do appreciate it.
A lot happens early on The Early Show, weekday mornings on CBS.
Now this leaves Sharon Murphy alone without the last remainder of her family, losing both her daughter and her son-in-law in just a span of 5 months. As Sharon grieves for her losses, her ex-husband and Brittany's father, Angelo Bertolotti, finds this as an opportunity to come into play. Angelo Bertolotti is a kind of a character, to say the least, if that character is being played in a mafia movie. That's right, Angelo has reportedly enjoyed a 20-year criminal career with the Italian mob, encompassing 3 separate visits to Atlanta Federal Penitentiary for crimes including counterfeiting, which is the cause for his and Sharon's divorce, sensing the danger that followed Angelo's current lifestyle. Brittany Murphy had previously always downplayed knowing her father in interviews out of shame and embarrassment. Yet, this did not stop Angelo from coming back into the picture after her and Simon's passing. Angelo demanded a second autopsy and sparked several theories, including a government conspiracy encouraged by former Customs and Border Protection officer at the I'm not sure if I'm saying this right, Ysidro Port of Entry, Julia Davis. Angelo had told Fleur de Lis Film Studios that they, Brittany and Simon, were in fact under surveillance, including helicopters. Their telephones were wiretapped. Brittany was afraid to go home because of the sneak and peek incursions into their residence and other terror tactics she suffered after speaking out in support of Julia Davis and being named as a witness in her lawsuit against the Department of Homeland Security. Why was Julia Davis in a lawsuit with the Department of Homeland Security, you ask? Well, the former Customs and Border officer had been deemed as a whistleblower by the US government. On July 4th, 2004 was what specific intelligence alerts designated as a date to watch. Julia Davis detected and reported improperly processed entries of 23 aliens from terrorist countries into the US. There were even documents retrieved from bin Laden's compound prior and later confirmed that Al-Qaeda members were indeed planning to strike on the date in question. When the Department of Homeland Security failed to act on this information, Julia made a report to the FBI's Joint Terrorism Task Force. Obviously, this is something the DHS once covered up immediately and under wraps, considering how they kind of fucked up. Julia was even subjected to a commando-style raid in 2005.
At our residence, and we had outside cameras and interior cameras to validate and memorialize the sneak and peek burglaries of our home. We were found factually innocent and that the government acted illegally.
It is not a politically correct piece. It's very controversial.
Eventually, Julia did win the lawsuit, proving the DHS mishandled information, leading to the improper processing of 23 immigrants. But during the trial period, Julia Davis claimed that Brittany Murphy and Simon Monjack were very vocal supporters to her case. One problem though, Sharon Murphy said in an open letter to the Hollywood Reporter, "I am quite confident Brittany never cooperated with Julia Davis, never signed any statement in support of her, never met with her, and barely knew she existed." Sharon continued, adding that the journalist did once attempt to contact Brittany via her CAA agents, but all she got back was a letter informing her that their client knew nothing about her claims and would not meet with her. So remember how I said earlier that Angela was speaking to the Fleur de Lis film studio regarding Brittany's alleged surveillance? Well, at the time, Julia Davis and Angelo are said to be working on several projects under the Fleur de Lis film studio's label, including a book called Brit and a full-length documentary regarding Brittany's involvement with Davis. So this leads to quick speculation, obviously, that Angelo and Julia did not have the best intent for his daughter's death. I mean, look at it. Estranged father, check. Daughter and son-in-law die in suspicious fashion, check. I already put two up before I said that. Father comes back into the picture with outrageous claims and seeks to have films and books produced regarding said suspicious death, check. Sharon Murphy was incredibly quick to call her ex-husband out on the matter, thus leading to a lot of complications and a massive feud between the two. Sharon called Julia's claims as bold-faced lies in order to promote their products. I don't believe that Sharon was too far off from the truth of Angelo's true intentions. I mean, it's a little suspicious, obviously. I mean, estranged father comes in to swoop in and to cash in on his daughter's passing, making books and documentaries and full-length films about it. Just seems a little sus. Although Sharon is said to not be so innocent herself in the case of Brittany Murphy's death. And before I get into this, I just want to state that this is about to be pure speculation and in no way certified to be factual or true in any kind of way. It's pure speculation on this matter. I just want to make that very clear before I get into this. After Brittany's passing, the public blame was quickly pointed in Sharon's and Simon's direction. The public widely agreed that Sharon and Simon had plotted Brittany's death, or at least refused help on purpose, to run away together and cash in on Brittany's will. In Brittany Murphy's will, she left Sharon sole ownership of all of her assets and fortune. So I can see how this theory could be plausible. If you consider at this point that Brittany, Sharon, and Simon became ill in Puerto Rico, only to return and Brittany is the only fatality, and when speaking to investigators searching the actress's home, Sharon let slip to an investigator after pointing to a side of Simon's bed and claiming that's her side of the bed, talking about herself, where she sleeps at. Little sus. The pair continued to live together after Brittany's passing, but there's two problems with the speculation towards Simon and Sharon plotting the death of Brittany Murphy. Problem number A. Simon died just 5 months after, thus ruining the runaway couple story. Unless Sharon is just an absolute monster who murdered both her daughter and her son-in-law, it's hard to imagine Sharon could murder her own daughter after all they had been through together. Problem number B. Sharon had the house inspected for mold after Brittany and Simon's passing, and you know what they found? Toxic mold all throughout the house. The home was bought by Brittany Murphy from another famous Brittany, #FreeBrittany, Britney Spears, and Justin Timberlake. Sharon sued the housing builder and several construction companies for a wrongful inspection of the house when the house was bought. The suit was finalized and a check for $600,000 was sent to Sharon. But even this raises some questions, unfortunately. Factoring the staphylococcus, the 3-cot, and being in remission for breast cancer, this should have left Sharon in a overwhelmingly weakened state. So how did this much older woman pull through a disease and living in this house full of toxic mold? I don't have an answer, honestly. I do not have an answer for this. Brittany, Simon, Sharon all had underlying health issues, but only Sharon managed to survive. This is what makes this case just so fucking intriguing and confusing and just frustrating. Even more frustrating, mold was not found in either of the deceased during the autopsy. Now, it's entirely possible that this has just been one hell of a case of imperfect timing and pure coincidence, I guess, because there's just so many confusing factors in play here. I mean, I don't know. Maybe you know. If you have a theory as to what killed rising star Brittany Murphy, who, by the way, was set to play Harley Quinn opposite to Heath Ledger's Joker in Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight sequel, just a little fun fact for you, and her husband Simon Monjack, then leave a comment down below and let me know what you think and what you think you know. You know? Anyways, thank you guys so much for making it to the end of this video. If you did, that makes you a true wokester, and also we're best friends automatically. And that's science, and you cannot prove me wrong. If you like what you saw, make sure you subscribe to get notified whenever I drop more content like this. If you did like this, let me know. This has been episode 1 of Celebrity True Crime. Stay woke.
Hello, how are
Hi.
you?
Tell me about your character June in the movie.
June is definitely in the middle of a love triangle, to say the least.
And how was it filming such a dark thriller?
I was very drawn to this because of its noir quality and the short film that was made before we were able to make the full-length feature. I was excited to be a part of the full-length. I really enjoyed the short film very much.
And it was filmed on the same lot as Psycho. How was that? How did that come into play? Did anything eerie happen?
Not that I can recall at all. We had a very tight work schedule, and everyone...
17 days. Tell me about that.
It was very quick, so we just were professional and worked quickly and efficiently, and thank goodness everyone was kind. No one generally tends to be in on a set that's an independent film that has a short schedule unless they really want to be. And
why do you think June...
Everyone wanted to be there, and that was a pleasure.
And why did June... Do you think June ultimately cheated?
By the way, Phantom of the Opera was filmed in the exact same studio, which is no longer there. It was the oldest on the Universal lot.
I heard
and
you guys were the last production.
Lost in the fire. Very sad. It was so beautiful, my goodness. And that ambience, of course, fed into a film such as this. I'm sorry, you were asking me about June.
Yeah, why do you think she ultimately cheated?
I don't know June's actual reasons for cheating. I'm very different from June.
Yeah.
Very, very different.
And really quick, last question. Is it easier, do you find it easier to film comedies or thrillers? What comes more naturally to you?
Oh, Lord. You know, for me, I've had the good fortune of being able to play characters that are stuck in the middle of comedic situations, comedic stories, ridiculous, or tragic. And it all has to do with the story and the director, and that's really where the decisions are made on my behalf.
You are gorgeous. Thank you so much. I appreciate
Thank
it.
you. Can I have your hair in my next life, please?
Oh my God, are you kidding me? You're
No.
gorgeous.
God bless
Can I
you.
be you in my next life?
No problem.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Have a nice day.